All right, Mr. Russell, if you want to go ahead and get us started, it looks like we have admitted everyone that was in the waiting room.
Thank you, Ms. Brake. All right. Welcome to Open House, everybody. We made it. We're at the 2021-2022 school year. This is the 4th grade Open House. I just wanted to take a minute or two to introduce myself, but of course, welcome everyone back to a full in-person school year. We're praying. I just wanted to say thank you for joining us, and let's get this going. All right. I am Richard Russell. I am the elementary principal for kindergarten through 4th grade. I've been here for 20 years, and this is going into my 5th year as elementary principal. So I just wanted to say thank you for having me. I'm humble, hungry, and ready to get going the school year. And, you know, our mission is to eradicate generational poverty for the lives of our students. And our vision this year is to exceed growth within all of those gaps that we may or may not have obtained during COVID. We want to close those gaps. Our goal is to become an A+ school in the next couple of years. We want to get there. That's our goal. That's our mission. We're going to do it all. So please look for my first edition to the Sugar Creek Charter School Elementary Wildcat newsletter. I'm going for it. It's going to come out weekly, and it'll just be big hits about important things going on in each grade level and what's going on in the school. So please look for that this week. It's coming out. And after that, I just want to introduce the fearless leader of 4th grade, Daybreak. Thanks, everybody. Have a great time.
Thank you, Principal Russell. Good evening, Sugar Creek Charter School parents, students, and families. I want to welcome you today to our virtual open house for 4th grade. My name is Daybreak, and I am the assistant principal of Learning Loss and Acceleration for the 2021-22 school year. I'm actually returning to Sugar Creek this year after having served as principal practitioner a few years ago. So for our returning families, I believe that your students were probably in kindergarten during my first year here at Sugar Creek. Nonetheless, I am happy to be back serving as your lead administrator for 4th grade. I do ask during our open house today that you mute your microphones, keep them on mute unless you have something to say. But if you could put all of your questions in the chat, and we will definitely work to address your questions. We will also have breakout groups at the end of this session so that you can specifically meet your child's teacher in the breakout rooms and ask them any specific questions that you may have. I do want to let you know that your students are in for a treat this year. So as they are surrounded by a team that has a true mission to see your students succeed, but not only academically, we also plan to help your student to grow socially, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Your student will learn how to set personal goals that will help them to grow as a whole child. You will hear from me a lot this year as I'm supported by my wonderful team of highly qualified educators. Allow me to introduce our 4th grade team. First, I want to introduce you to Miss Miller, who's teaching 4th grade math. You might see her waving. We also have Miss Anderson on their pod partners, so they'll be together. And Miss Anderson will be teaching 4th grade ELA. On our second pod, we have Miss Chun, who will be teaching 4th grade math, and Miss Howard, who will be teaching 4th grade ELA. And last, but certainly not least, pod 3 consists of Mrs. Chardy, teaching 4th grade math, and we have Miss Jackson teaching 4th grade ELA. All right, now we're going to talk to you about our STAR rules, which for those of you who are returning to Sugar Creek, you know that we follow these rules with fidelity. So we just want to make sure that as a unit, we all understand what these rules are, and Ms. Miller will bring that to us today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I am Ms. Miller, the 4th grade math teacher, and I will go over the STAR rules with you. The S stands for show respect for yourself and others. The T is for transition in an orderly manner. The A is accept responsibilities for your actions. The R is ready to learn at all times. And the S is support your school.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. And at this time, we have Ms. Anderson that will let us know about uniforms.
Anderson, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Welcome, family. Sorry, welcome. All right. Sugar Creek Charter School is a uniform school. It's time to get up, put away those pajamas. And so I'm gonna go over the uniform policy. For the shirts, your students will wear monogram navy blue shirts with collars. Go back. Only monogram shirts will be authorized. Now, under the shirts, short sleeve or long sleeve, they must be white. They must be white. Any other colors will have to be removed. Long sleeve shirts must be monogram uniform shirts. All shirts must be worn tucked in. Your students must have their uniform shirts tucked in at all times. All right, and here you have the uniform. I think Ms. Chun just put in the chat. That is the website that we partnership with our uniform shirts. So you'll go there to order your shirts for this upcoming school year. All right, for our pants, tan khaki pants, shorts or skirts, off-white khakis are not acceptable. No leggings, cargo shorts or bib overalls will be allowed. Pants made of jean materials or has any other tears are not permitted. All pants must be solid in color with no brand names or other identifying tags, labels, or symbols. Shorts and skirts must be no more than 1 inch above the knee. Tight pants, skinny leg pants are not allowed. I know they're popular with our children, but they are not allowed. Tan khaki shorts and jumpers, off-white khakis is not acceptable. Skirts and jumpers must be no more than 1 inch above the knee. For the belts, solid belt, black belts must be worn with uniforms daily. If your whatever clothing article has a belt loop, then they must wear a belt, a black belt. The belts and the buckles with the decorative accessories, including studs and stones and logos and designs will not be permitted. Just keep it simple. Just an all black belt. Now, here we have for our shoes. The shoes worn must be solid black. That also includes the soles. That's the bottom of the shoe. If you look there, we have several examples here. All black shoes. Make sure there's no logos or anything, no white, no Nike. I know they're popular. Adidas, I know they're popular. All black, solid black. Soles included. Now, for the outerwear, students may wear jackets that are solid navy blue with or without the school logo in the classroom. Denim jackets are not allowed. Now, during the winter months, coats can be worn of any color, but must be removed inside the classroom if it is not solid navy blue. For us, it's navy blue. Burgundy is for the middle school, but for us, it must be navy blue. All right.
Excellent. And at this time, we'll have Ms. Chardy to come in and introduce us to our safety protocol for this school year.
Welcome back, you guys. It's good to see everybody. Since, like Mr. Russell mentioned, we are going to be fully back in all person. We are not having virtual school, so we are all back in person. And so being with that, we need to make sure we are all safe. So just to make sure everyone is safe, students and all faculty will be required to wear masks inside the school building all day long, and that includes the bus. So if your student rides the bus, they need to make sure they have a mask with them before they board the bus. And or if they're a car rider, make sure they have a mask before they walk into the school building. We will have some masks for emergency purposes if you forget one, but we cannot provide masks every day. So once we hit to where we don't have any extra masks, we will be reaching out and asking you to provide to come and bring us masks to the school for your student. We just don't have the supply in order to provide every student with a mask every day. So just make sure you have masks for your students every day. We suggest putting 1 or 2 in their book bag just to keep for those emergency purposes, and just making sure they have one on their face before they get on the bus or before they walk in the school building. Please make sure when your student or before your student comes to school that you talk about the appropriate way to wear the mask. Make sure it is covering your nose and underneath your chin to cover your mouth. We want to make sure we don't see any nose holes or any mouth holes. Make sure we are all safe and protected, so that way we as faculty can protect your students and your students can protect everyone else in the building as well. So just make sure we practice our mask wearing and wear them at all times.
Excellent job. Thank you so much, Ms. Chardy. And as he comes down to unmute himself, we also have a new addition to the team, which is our instructional assistant for ELA, who will be partnered with Ms. Jackson's class, and that is Mr. Morris, which he will be going over our school supplies for this year.
Thank you, Ms. Chun. Hello, everybody. I just want to say welcome again, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure your child is prepared for this school year and get them prepared for the world. But there are a few things that we ask that you guys bring or have them bring to class. We ask that they bring pencils, no mechanical pencils or sharpeners allowed, erasers, glue sticks, coloring pencils, no markers, so we're going to use coloring pencils, index cards, 4 composition notebooks, 4 spiral notebooks, 4 folders, lined paper, Clorox wipes, tissues, hand sanitizer, 4 highlighters that are different colors, pens, dry erase markers, scissors, computer paper, and 1 can of disinfectant spray. And for the notebooks and the Clorox wipes, hand sanitizers, and disinfectant spray, we will be holding on to those, but your child will be able to hold on to the other items that we asked them to bring. So we just thank you for that and your cooperation with bringing those items.
Can I ask a question regarding the supplies? When it comes to the supplies, the kids not gonna be sharing supplies, right?
No, those will be individual supplies for them. We won't be sharing due to COVID.
Okay, as far as like the the Clorox wipes and things like that? Can we bring personal items just for themselves to keep at their desks and then some for the classroom as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Excellent question. Thank you so much, Mr. Morris. And coming up next, we have Ms. Jackson that will be going over our 4th grade actual schedule for the day when they entered the building.
All right, good afternoon, parents and friends. Here is a quick snapshot of what our day will look like in 4th grade. We have arrival from 8:30 to 8:50. From 8:50 to 11, we have block 1. From 11:05 to 12:05, we'll have specials. From 12:05 to 12:40, we will have recess. From 12:50 to 1:20, we'll have lunch. From 1:25 to 3:05, we will have block 2. From 3:05 to 3:50, we will have intervention. And from 3:50 to 4 o'clock, we will prepare for dismissal, and dismissal will begin promptly at 4 o'clock p.m.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jackson. And so this year we do have the honor of actually bringing the program back, which will be before and after school. We've had it previously before, and this year it is coming back, and Ms. Daybreak is going to speak up and let us know about that. Ms. Daybreak.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Chun. So we are offering this year a before and after school program. Both of these programs are free. But keep in mind that our new school hours are 8:30 to 4 o'clock. So students can enter the building as early as 7:30 and go to the before school program. The program is free, but it is only really a supervised waiting area. So students will need to bring something to entertain themselves, or they will kind of just be sitting quietly during that time. We also have our after school program, which is new to us this year through a third party. They will be offering after school services beginning September the 8th. And that is for grades K-8. It starts at 4 o'clock and ends at 6 p.m. It does take place here at the school, and it is grant funded. So again, you will not have to pay for your child. However, there is a capacity of 400 students. As of today, 200 students have signed up for the After School Academy. You can still register, and we'll make sure we provide the link in the chat so that you can go directly to the website to register your child for our after school program. Do know that snacks and dinner will be provided, and we are really focusing this after school program on the learning loss that has taken place over COVID. So working very closely with the director of this program to make sure that students are getting the specific needs that they have academically, whether that's in math or ELA. Let us know if you have any questions about the after school program by putting your questions in the chat, please. And we will definitely address your questions at the end.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Daybreak. And then we have Ms. Howard, who's going to step up and let us know about transportation changes.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Ms. Howard, a new addition to the 4th grade team. I already have some of my students contact me in the chat. So some of you all know me from 2nd grade. So I'll be teaching 4th grade ELA this year, and I just want to go over some transportation changes for this year. So just know, because our school hours have changed, changes can only be made for transportation before 2:30. After 2:30, transportation changes cannot be made. Whatever is in Pick My Kid, that is the mode of transportation that child will be taking home. So just please make sure you get those changes in before 2:30. This year, we will still be using Pick My Kid. We're going to be using Pick My Kid a lot more this year. So we advise that everyone please download the app if you haven't done so already. And any changes that you need to make needs to be done in Pick My Kid. So please make sure you make those changes and Pick My Kid. I know there have been some questions as regarding if you forget your pass when you're picking your kid up for car riders. If you forget that, then you can go ahead and go to the front office and just show your ID so we can make sure we have your identification, and then we can release your child. And also this year, every parent will receive a blue card with your personal number on there to pick up your child. Please make sure that you have that card visible when you're picking up your child. You will get 2 free ones at the beginning of the year. After that, if it is will also be a $5 charge in order to get another one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Excellent job. And then we have our slide here where we talk about lunch. So due to COVID and the restrictions that we do have, we are going to be transitioning to a place where the students will be eating lunch in the cafeteria. So each hallway will have a kiosk. The students will go class by class through the kiosk where they'll collect all of the materials that they need for lunch. And then they'll come back to the classroom and have lunch in the classroom with an adult. It is a supervised lunch. We ask that you have your child, if you have a child that's bringing a lunch, please pack them something that does not have to be warmed up. Students will not have access to microwaves or any type of heating instruments where they're able to warm up their food. So you can actually bring a bag lunch, but we just ask that it be something that doesn't have to be heated. And at the time of lunch and breakfast, students are not required to wear masks at that time. Because they will be eating. So I know some people had questions. If you're eating and you feel more comfortable, eat, put it in your mouth, put your mask back on, and you can chew with your mask on. But as you're putting the things in your mouth, masks are not required. All righty. And then we have Mr. Schools who will come up and speak in regards to specials. We have Mr. Schools with us who does technology, and we have Ms. Tatum who is our elementary art teacher.
Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Mr. Schools. It's an opportunity that we have to spend some time with your children on a different level. Outside of ELA and math, we, as specialist teachers, give them an opportunity to come in and learn some fun and fascinating things throughout their school day. I will be teaching K-4 technology. Again, my name is Mr. Schools, and this is where the elementary students will be able to develop basic computer technology skills, acquire and have the ability to enhance their opportunities for learning in all areas of the classroom. One of the more important things that we will start with is digital citizenship, which is going to give them life skills as far as what they need to apply to computers, social media, as well as in-person communications with family and friends in the community. Another fantastic thing that we have for you guys is the health and wellness, physical education, which is still so valuable. Keep in mind though, during this time, during physical education, if your students want to wear masks outside during this time, it's optional. If they do not want to wear masks during this particular time, then they need to at least put it in a place where they can retain it, maybe their pockets, or they can keep it around their ears and just pull it down so that they can breathe freely. Next, we have character education. As you can see, all of the fantastic and amazing characteristics here are going to be taught by our teachers, Mr. Benson, as well as Ms. Annetta Hall. We definitely would like to really have the children fix their minds and get ready to really put these particular character traits into action, because I think it's definitely going to make them better people and also really help them interact with their fellow classmates. And we have art class with Miss Tatum, K-4. Art is everywhere in all different shapes and sizes. Miss Tatum is a fantastic teacher, very gifted, and I'm sure your students are going to have a great time with Miss Tatum as well.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Saunders, and I teach grades 5 through 8 middle school ESL. I'm the ESL lead teacher at Sugar Creek Charter School, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the program that ESL is under, which is intervention and the intervention team, specifically at the elementary level, because ESL falls under that. And intervention is basically just a support program that is in different stages and levels for your child to just help prepare them for better success in the classroom. So it can be targeted in a certain area of the classroom. Also on the previous slide, I just wanted to mention at the elementary level, if you go back, thank you. At the elementary level, we have Miss Patino, and she serves us in kindergarten. She's an excellent support there in both ELA and math. We also have a new team member for grades 1 and 2 in ELA and math, and that's Miss Toomey. We also have Miss Joel, who is a new member to the intervention team, and she will be serving in grades 3 through 4 ELA. So those are some of the team members that will have the joy of working with our scholars in intervention. You can go back to the next slide. Thank you. And just to give you more of an idea of what intervention does and how it works, like I said, it's in different stages. So in the classroom would be the beginning stage, tier 1. Then if it is seen in the classroom that there is more support needed, that's where we come in at tier 2 for intervention. And if there's more support that's needed, then scholars can go into tier 3. But at the intervention level at tier 2, we support in math, reading, and ESL. And we just help with the success of the student in the classroom in their subject and for the EOGs. And this falls under the system. You'll see it down there at the bottom, which is called MTSS. And that's basically the structure that I just summarized for you. All right, so just to give you more specifics on how intervention works, classes are taught. You saw the 4th grade schedule before for about 45 minutes each day. And that's part of, it's planned into your scholars schedule. It's focused highly on data from the classroom and also progress monitoring in the intervention block. And it's focused on individual and differentiated student needs. This is a weekly progress monitoring and it's focused on the graded areas of ELA, math, and ESL that are on the report card. Students that are eligible for intervention, if that was a question you have, these primarily are focused on retained students, repeating students from the prior year, and from EC referrals, but also just on observations at that tier 1, like we talked about in the classroom. And that's some specifics. Next slide, please. And another area that falls under intervention where I come in mainly is ESL. So we just wanted to introduce the ESL team to you. If you're not familiar with ESL, ESL is English as a second language. So ESL is a program that provides support to those students who may speak another language at home or who may still be learning English. So if English is the primary language that you speak at home, then you may have never heard of ESL, and that's okay. But we are here for students who may speak another language such as Spanish, French, African languages, any type of language other than English. And we focus on supporting students in the skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, which they're using daily in their classroom. So we try to support in the content areas as much as possible, and then also in the areas of English as a second language. I would like to introduce to you, and you may see her wave, she's in this meeting too. Miss Mendoza is our kindergarten through 4th grade ESL teacher. And we're very happy to have her. She's a great support. And then I've already introduced myself. I'm Mr. Saunders, and I serve in middle school in grades 5th through 8th. If you need to contact us, our emails are in this presentation, as well as our Google Voice numbers. I would also like to add, in kindergarten and 1st grade this year, we have extra support. And that's good to know, just to support those beginning learners. And lastly, I think it's already been put in the chat, but if there are any new parents, this is new ESL students, or even parents who have been here that have a student in ESL that may need more information, the link was just put in the chat for you to just give us your information so that we can reach out to you and support you in any way that you may need help. La última cosa también, I'm just going to explain for the parents that speak Spanish. También hablo español y hay muchos personas en nuestro equipo de ESL que hablan español. Entonces, si tienen preguntas en español, pueden poner en el chat o también nos puede enviar mensajes o un correo electrónico y les podemos ayudar. Gracias. So thank you guys, and I'll give it back to fourth grade.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders. And I apologize for not introducing you. I realized I was on mute. So thank you, Mr. Schools, as well. I didn't get to give you a thank you. Wonderful job. Last thing here we have before we take questions and we open up in the breakout room is that we would like to capture as much information as we can from the parents. And we want to do it in an electronic form this year. So if you have your smartphone, if you could just take it out, open up the camera, point it to this little digital square box down here, and it'll pop up and it'll say, open up this page. You open it up, and it's a one-page document just with pertinent information that we need. Contact information for the parents. It's an option for you to express any concerns that you may have for this upcoming year for your child. It's a place for you to tell us anything that we need to know in regards to being able to better serve your child. Who should we contact? Emergency contact. So is this that parent information form that we ask for every year? So if you can get that done, that would be great. I'll leave that up for just a moment. The next slide is going to open it up for questions if you have any questions. And on that slide, I'll leave it up for a moment as well, because at that time, it'll have all of our email addresses. The only email address that is missing from that particular slide will be Mr. Morris. And as soon as that is confirmed, we'll make sure we get that out. But the fourth grade team emails will be there. Ms. Daybreak, did you have anything to add, or Mr. Schools?
Excuse me, Ms. Chun, is it possible to raise the square enough for us to be able to get the whole square, because it's not working for me.
All righty. Just one moment. Yes, sir. I'll stop sharing just momentarily so I can fix that on the back end. And then as soon as it is fixed, then I will put that right back up for you. Was it any other questions? Do we have any questions in the chat that we can address as we wait momentarily to get this back up?
I did see a couple of questions come through. One question was, is there an option for virtual classes for elementary with the consideration of the students being young and unvaccinated? The answer to that is no. At this time, we are only offering Plan A, which means that all students are in the building all day. We will continue to follow the Department of Public Instruction and the state of North Carolina mandates. So anytime that they push through a change, if we have the option to go through option B or option C or Plan B or Plan C, then we will look at that at that time. But as of today, all charter schools are required to be Plan A, which requires that students be learning in the classroom. We also have the question, can kids be dropped off at 7:30? The answer to that is yes. That is the earliest that students can be dropped off. They can attend the before school program, which begins at 7:30. Just keep in mind that this is more of a supervised waiting area. So if they do come that early, they need to bring a book or something that they can use to entertain themselves. We had someone say that they came in late and so they would like access to the teacher page. What we will do after the questions and you've had a chance to add your information using this code, this QR code, we'll break out into breakout rooms. And so you should have received an email last night, which would have told you who your child's teacher is. When we break off into those breakout rooms, you just want to go to that teacher's room so that you can specifically meet your child's teacher and ask any specific questions that you may have. All right, someone else said, are we not receiving packets this year? So everything that you would have received in a paper packet prior to school starting has been sent via email. However, on the first day, first week of school, some of these documents will be duplicated, printed, and copied so that you have paper copies as well. You just want to make sure, like the meal application, the transportation requests, uniforms, all of those things which came electronically, that you have that information ahead of time and go ahead and complete those forms.
The next question, Ms. Daybreak, it asks again, I guess, for clarification in regards to virtual. They're saying, so it is no virtual at all.
There is currently no virtual option for Sugar Creek Charter School. There are no virtual options for any charter schools in the state of North Carolina. The district does have a virtual academy. However, it is completely full to my knowledge. So for Sugar Creek, yes, we are only Plan A, which is all students in class. And keep in mind that we are requiring masks. So we have the full school mask mandate, and all students will be required to enter the building with that mask and keep the mask on throughout the school day. So that is our number one way of keeping students safe. But we will also practice social distancing in many instances as well. And as we mentioned before, they will have that time outside where they won't be required to wear the mask, but it is still recommended.
And then the next question, Ms. Daybreak, thank you. It states in regards to summer school, I mean, sorry, not summer school, after school, indicated that it was free. They're indicating, is it a certain place to go on the website? Because the website is stating that it costs $100.
So in the chat, and we can put that link in again, if you could do that, Ms. Chardy, in the chat, there should be a direct link for registering for Sugar Creek's after school program. So if you go to the website for Raise a Child Carolinas, it will give you a fee. But for the Sugar Creek program, it is grant funded. So it is free to all students on that first come, first serve basis. But if you still have issues registering, if for some reason it won't let you complete registration, you can email me directly once we put those emails up, and then I can try to figure out what the issue is. But this is a free program through that third party, Raise a Child Carolinas.
Is electronics allowed for entertainment before school?
That's a great question. Mr. Russell, you still on the line?
Yeah, electronics will not be allowed as entertainment. Be more for homework, for reading books, and that's such practice that makes perfect for school. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russell.
Ms. Brake, I had one question come to me that asked they had not received their bus schedule yet. Where would that be located and how would they receive that information?
Yeah, so in that email that went out last night, it should have also included your mode of transportation with the pickup time and the drop-off time. If you did not receive that, just make sure you check your spam to make sure it didn't go into your spam folder. But if you still don't see it there, you can definitely reach out to me individually and we can make sure we get your transportation information for you. But that information should have gone out just last night.
All right, and I just got another question in the chat. It says, good afternoon. How often is the school cleaned throughout the day, and on which days will the school receive a deep cleaning?
That's an excellent question. So every day, the school receives a deep cleaning at the end of the school day. And then we also have our janitorial staff cleaning the bathrooms every 20 minutes. And then classrooms, of course, with the supplies that we're bringing in as teachers, we will make sure that we keep our rooms sanitized throughout the day. But you can definitely guarantee that our custodial team will be working every 20 minutes to wipe down and spray those common areas.
This break also Saturdays will be a deep clean as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can fourth grade wear navy blue pants? The school does not have a policy for navy blue pants at all. So it all has to be khaki bottoms for the school from K through 12. And the only differentiation we have will be in the color of the top that they wear. Great question.
I have a couple more questions that came to me in the chat. Is there a process in place if there's a COVID outbreak in the school?
That is a great question. And there is a process currently undergoing. We have parameters in place that are set by the state that we have to follow based on the North Carolina toolkit. However, as a leadership team, we are definitely working to specify that plan and make sure that it works specifically for our school. So as we develop that plan and confirm it, we will definitely notify you so that you're aware of any changes or any things that you would have to do in response to the plan that we put in place.
All right.
And the school is currently at this time, they're in the process of installing the senseless sinks, the senseless soap dispensers, the senseless toilets. So we are taking measures that we can take to help prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Yes,
And someone just typed about that in the chat. And yes, that is in process of being.
I didn't even see that question. Yes, so
It
we
came
will
as
have
you were
water
talking.
fountains available this year. Water fountains available, but it will be the touchless water fountains and toilets and sinks.
There's
Right.
another question, is electronics allowed for entertainment before school?
Mr. Russell took that question and said it is not. It has to be school pertained things to keep them entertained. Books, homework, reading books, homework.
Yep. And I have one more question, and I think I'm done with questions on my end. It says, how many children per room?
Right now, our largest class is 27 students in the room, but seats are social distance, about 3 feet apart.
Can they bring their own water bottle? Yes, we suggest they bring their own water bottle with something that has like a secure top for them to drink out of throughout the day.
So I see the question about the 27 students in a class and how big is the classroom. Every classroom has a different square footage, but if you have an extreme concern, we can definitely measure that classroom for you and give you a better idea of what that looks like. But safety is our #1 priority. So we are doing the best that we can to make sure that your child is safe, and that, again, when they keep those masks on, there is research to show that students do not transmit the virus as easily amongst each other when they have those masks on. So we take all of that data and research into consideration in all the decisions that we make concerning the number of students in the room and the layout of the classroom.
I got another one. Are temperature checks conducted?
This year, temperature checks will not be conducted. The reason for that is because, again, the research has shown that that is not a clear indicator of the Delta strand for COVID-19. And so some of the symptoms are more cold-like symptoms and things like that, and not necessarily the fever. So it would not be an accurate detection of whether someone had the virus.
It's also a question came in with, can we draw? And I think that's before school.
Yes. It's my understanding that if you bring materials to draw, you have your paper and your colored pencils, you can use those materials to draw during that time.
Excellent. I do see the question in here about the form and it asking for not accepting the phone number. We will take a look at that. As we take a look at that, we will continue to take questions. Is there anyone else that needs to scan this before I go to the next slide, which has the email addresses?
And I have one more question in the chat. How often will the kids move through the building during the day?
The students transition between their ELA and their math class. They also transition for recess and lunch. Other than that, they will be positioned in one classroom for the time being. So I would say about 4 times they are transitioning, but it's all within close proximity.
There's another question about recess. Will the children be able to play with each other? And she's hoping that the teachers will implement the children on washing their hands.
Yes, the students will be able to play with each other. Again, we stress social distancing and making them aware of the protocols that we've put in place. We will definitely talk about mask wearing, washing your hands. We have hand sanitizer stations all throughout the school. So again, the same things that we put in place when we opened the building back in April are the same things that will continue. I did also see where someone said that they did not receive the email last night about who their child's teacher is. So when we do the breakout groups, if you'll just stay back and we can pull your student's name to find out what breakout group you need to go to. I see the question about how do we, the parents, know if another child comes in sick if you're not doing temperature checks? So we're looking for those symptoms that are specific to the Delta variant. So if a child does indeed come up to have some of those symptoms, then that is something that we can keep in mind. We do testing at the school. We do the rapid COVID test at the school if that's needed. But I think to answer your question, the only way we can indicate if someone is sick is if you keep them home. Like you would know if they were sick before they get here. So if your child is having any symptoms, keep that caution, and it's best to just keep them home with the understanding that we don't really know if it's the virus or not. So any sick students, fever or not, it would be recommended that they stay home until they feel better. We are using separate materials. There will be no sharing of pencils, paper, or any of the school supplies. So we do expect students to bring their supplies, and they will have their individual supplies. And we do accept cloth masks as well as the, I don't know how you describe them, but they look like this. So they can do either one of those masks. We do accept all masks. Just make sure that if there's any verbiage on it or any symbols, that they are school appropriate, that they won't cause any sort of issues with whatever's presented on that mask. And our student to teacher ratio is 1. Well, the 27 class, I believe it's 1 to 27. We do have an assistant in Jackson's class, and we will also have an assistant in Miss Chardy's class, which will make it 2 to roughly 24 to 27 students. All right, and again, if you did not receive the transportation information or the information about your child's homeroom teacher, I can look that up for you when we start transitioning to breakout rooms. And you just let me know and we can make sure you get to the right room.
You have a question about makeup days if a child misses schoolwork for being sick?
That's at the discretion of your teacher and the way that they create their makeup work and the requirements that they have in place for makeup work. Does anyone want to speak on that?
Canvas is, I'm sorry, Charlie. Canvas is still available. Assignments can still be assigned on Canvas. We will still be using that platform. So any student that is unfortunately out for that reason will have access to their work on Canvas.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with a question I received. Will there be an option for virtual learning if the student is homesick? We will not have a virtual option, but as Ms. Miller said, we do still have Canvas, so assignments may be put on electronically. It may be accessed that way at home, but no classroom Zoom sessions if your student is homesick. And the last question, I think, is the staff doing temperature checks?
No, there are no temperature checks for staff or students.
All right.
All right, so at this time, I will go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Daybreak. I apologize. I just wanted to pull up this screen. I think the error was corrected, so I just wanted to reshare this so that you can get that UR code. Remember, if you don't know who your child's teacher is, you can put the name in the chat and we'll be able to better assist you that way with getting you that information. So if you can scan the new one, you should be able to fill that one out and submit it. Thank you for your flexibility and patience. As we're trying to make sure that we capture the correct information. And one of the biggest things on there will be an actual email address, because a lot of communication this year will be going out through Connect Ed, as well as Remind through our wonderful principal and AP, as well as Brightview. So if we don't have the correct email address, we just don't want you to miss out on pertinent information that you need with communication. I see we have the names coming in, and I think Ms. Break was finna say how we were going to do the breakout rooms.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Chun. So I will go ahead and open up the rooms. I see the names coming in. If you'll just stay back before you go into a room, and I will look that information up for you. All right, so what it should allow you to do is pick the room that you want to go in. Did I do that right, Ms. Chun?
You did. Do you want me to stay behind a little bit with you, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, let's start looking these up.
Anthony Falls.
Yeah, so Anthony Falls homeroom is Miss Miller.
Okay, the next one is Cedric Lockhart Jr.
All right, give me just a moment. All right, Cedric's homeroom is also Miss Miller.
Okay, and the next one is Eva Vargas. Vargas.
Okay, Miss Howard's homeroom.
Oh, you're with me. And I think that's all we have so far.
Well, I see Kaden Brewer. But you can go ahead, Sean.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kaden Brewer has Miss Howard. Is it Kyrie's mom? Could you unmute and tell me what exactly are you asking?
You said there was a link to join the, oh, I see it right now on your page. I see it. The breakout room. Okay, yeah, I know who his class. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. All right. Did anyone else need to know where to go?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was trying to type it in, but it wasn't working for me. Giovanni Perry, please.
Perry, is it Perry?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Giovanni has Miss Chardy as homeroom. All right. Anyone else? So Ms. Chun, if you can hear me, as people are returning to the main room, if you could put the QR code back up on the screen for any parents that were not able to scan it the second time. We just want to make sure that we get all contact information in our system. So again, if you have not completed that QR code with your parent contact information, Ms. Chun should be putting that up shortly so that you can scan it again.
You want to be seen? What you want? You want me to make it?
All right, so as everyone is returning, we hope you had an opportunity to meet your teacher and ask questions, really get that feel that you can't quite get when we're not in the building. But again, I know it's always good to put a face with the name. We are going to put that QR code back up. So if you did not get a chance to scan it, we definitely want that information for you. It's like your phone number, your email, concerns that you may have for this school year. We want to get that from you as soon as possible. So if you can do it now, please go ahead and scan that code and fill out the form. And we had one more question.
Yeah, I think Chun was finishing up her last question. I think a parent was just concerned about their child getting to the classroom on the first day because, open house is used to see where your students are supposed to go. So there will be staff throughout the hallways, like Ms. Chun was stating, there will be staff throughout the hallways to direct students on where to go. Most of the fourth grade teachers are down the first grade hall at the very end, and Ms. Chardy and Ms. Jackson will be down the fifth grade hall at the end, but there will be staff in the hallways to direct students so they won't get lost.
Yes, great question. You'll also notice that there are signs on the end of each hall. So you'll kind of see fourth and fifth are on this hall and then fourth grade is on that hall. So there would be some signs also to help direct your student.
And I apologize, another question did come in and I meant to address this as well when I did the lunch slide. The question is, will I be able to walk my child in on the first day of school? And at this particular time, to make sure that we are practicing social distancing, parents are not allowed in the building. We're only accepting the students in. Again, the halls will be lined with staff, not only to help direct, but also to help monitor that social distancing piece, making sure the students are wearing their masks the correct way. So you're not allowed to walk the students in the building, nor will you be allowed to come. I know sometimes we would have it where you would eat lunch with a parent or maybe on a birthday. At this time, we do not have that option available for the parents due to the fact that they'll be eating lunch in the classroom.
Yes, great question. And to answer your question about the Pick My Kid cards being provided to students who are normally bus riders, the answer to that is yes, because in the event that you want to make them a car rider, you're still going to need that car rider card. So every student, regardless of their mode of transportation, will receive a card for Pick My Kid. And those cards will either be given out on the first day of school, or you'll receive communication about how best to receive that card. But again, every student will receive the car rider tag.
I think it came in as far as the lobby. Yes, that's the only place in the vestibule at the front of the school. That's the farthest a parent can go. In regards to can they bring lunch from home? Yes, it just does not need to be something that has to be heated because they don't have access to that. The next question is, when does after school start? Ms. Daybreak, I think you said September the 8th.
September the 8th, yes.
Is that for before and after?
That's just for after. So for before school, you can start bringing your student at 7:30 on day one.
Okay, so before school starts on Monday, after school starts September the 8th. Our siblings walk them to the class. Siblings are not going to be allowed to walk them to their class the first day of school. So what'll happen is each entry point of our building is designed for a certain grade level. So if you have a sibling that's in 6th grade, they won't even enter the building with a K through second or K through 4th grade. So it's separate, and I think it went out in that email that was sent out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ms. Howard, can you put that that's after school starting September the 8th?
Put it in the chat. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
And just a reminder to the parents, you will have staff at each entry point as well that will direct any of the students to where they need to be. We will make sure they go to their designated spots, classes.
Well, thank you so much, parents, students, families. We definitely appreciate your time this afternoon. Please reach out to us if there were any questions that were not answered, if you need further clarification on anything that was stated. We are here for you. And so we are definitely excited about this opportunity to work with you and your scholar. And again, this is going to be a fabulous year. We are going to use the utmost caution and safety procedures in place. And so we definitely work with you in this mission to eradicate generational poverty and to really move forward with our students as they dwell on their path to success. So again, I thank you so much for your time and your attention this afternoon. Call us, contact us, email us if you have questions or concerns, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, K and 4 will all walk through the same door. So that front entrance door, that's where they walk in.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Cedric. Thank you. Bye, Jorge. Bye, Marcus. All right, I'm gonna start removing people.
And you're recording as well.
Okay. Thank you.